Hello, everyone. Carmen Calabrese here, running for United States Senate here in the great state of Maine. Sorry I'm laughing, but I keep trying to put my camera up on the side of my truck and it keeps falling off, and I think this is the fourth time I've done this. But anyway, like I said, running for United States Senate here in the great state of Maine. And I heard a quote yesterday, and it really struck me, and was that, during the Biden era, and especially in the last year of his administration, we were known as a country in decline. And that really irked me because, I'm like, no, we're not. We're the greatest country in the world. And now, after 1 year of President Trump, all of a sudden, everyone in the world, all countries in the world, look at us and go, man, that's a country that's really ascending, that's taking off. Look at what's happening. Look at what President Trump is doing for this country. And he's got the slogan, "Make America Great Again." I agree with that. I agree that we need to be great because when we're great, that pulls everyone up. John Kennedy said back in the 60s that a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, you got to have a rising tide. We're the rising tide. We're going to lift all the other boats with us. And we're going to make this country great again and the world great again. And that's one of the reasons why I want to go to Senate. It's interesting because I was at a big Italian wedding, my family, this weekend, and all my family, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, are all fired up for me. They can't believe what I'm doing. They think it's amazing that someone that's second generation here in the United States can actually run for the United States Senate. Well, you know what? I'm doing it, and it's interesting because when you look at a country in decline and where we were going, you know, I'm going against Susan Collins. I don't want to say a lot of bad things about Susan Collins, but you know what? She voted against the big beautiful bill. She voted to impeach Donald Trump. She she votes in a way that just is not conducive to making this country great again. And we need to. Like I said, a rising tide lifts all boats. And also, you remember, Ronald Reagan said back in the 80s that we are the shining city on the hill. And where else in the world can someone go when they have no place else to go? The United States of America. And my great grandparents did it, and back in the early 1900s. So yes, we still are the shining city on the hill, and it's going to become brighter. And we need people like myself in the Senate to help move this country forward and move it to a position where we are the greatest shining city on the hill. We need to restore American values, and we need to bring this bad boy back up again. So, if you like what I'm doing, that's great. I sure do appreciate it. You can make comments if you want to go to Carmen for Senate on Facebook. That's my Facebook page. CarmenForSenate.com. That's where you can see my website, donate to my website. You can go over to TikTok. You can follow me there. You can follow me here. And, follow me, like it, share it, especially share it, all you folks that are in Maine or that have relatives in Maine. Share these videos. Let them know that there's an option. Like I said on my last video, I'm polling at 1%, so I'm going up. And as my cousin PJ said at the big Italian wedding this weekend, where was Mondami a year ago? He was at 1%. So I may have a long way to go, but I've got the strength to do it. And with you folks behind me, I know I can. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk again. Bye.